Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video, we're going to be firstly showing you a little bit about our VPS offerings in terms of what we offer to our clients who take advantage of our VPS services, as well as what we will be going over is a little bit about kind of the new things we've brought in over the past couple of months, such as path networks in order to protect your servers and enhance the way that the traffic would work on network side, and also just a couple of things in terms of ease of access tips for the VPS, as well as quickly getting started on using your VPS. Now, I'll break the video up into parts, and I'll try and make it where you can kind of split through it easily enough. But if there is any issues, as always, you can open a ticket in CQ, and we'll be happy enough to point you in the right direction. Now, first of all, I just need to make you aware when we are talking about VPS here. One of the biggest questions we've had recently is why do you guys no longer offer FiveM hosting? So FiveM hosting, in a way, we still do. The way that FiveM hosting was working before was going through as a game server. Now FiveM blocked compatibility for this through them blocking the pterodactyl panel, and they've also made it against their terms of service to offer FiveM. So what we have done, and there is a very very easy way for us to offer it, and a very very easy way for you guys to do it within their terms of service. You can use a VPS to host FiveM. Our job is just to make that as easy as possible for you guys to do. So all of our VPSs come pretty much ready to use in terms of if you guys install FiveM, open the ports, everything will work. We have very quick and easy commands you can run, which will automatically install all the necessary files for FiveM, as well as some other goodies, including opening up. It'll open the firewall ports that are needed and just basically get things ready to go for you. Now, what we do have when you do order a VPS, as you'll see, it just says GTA 5 now. We're not going to be using any of their logos or anything like that, just to dampen down any kind of heat that may be built up. You just select get it now. You've got a real choice here. What I would always say is for most small end servers, the 4 gig plan will most likely work. Now, FiveM is a very, very strange, a game that's run very, very strange. It's a combination of the 4 of the RAM, the 4 gigs of RAM here, as well as the 2 times i9 10900K cores. Now, this will probably be changing shortly as we've kind of changed over to AMD just due to the better performance at the moment. But yeah, so you always get your 10 gig access to a 10 gig port. Now, obviously, you're on a VPS, so the machine that you're using is plugged into a 10 gig port, and that is a shared port. However, if you ever did have an issue with networking, which I don't think you ever will, we can address that at the point. Now you get 40 gigs of storage. Now we only use NVMe, so you would have 40 gigs of NVMe storage, and that's the same for all of our VPSs. Now, what I would say once you've ordered the VPS, you get a couple of options. So you get to select, firstly, how many IPs do you need? So in terms of IPs, what we'd be needing, ideally, just for if you're going for one FiveM server, you only need the one. IPs are billed at $2.50 US per dollar. What I would always recommend to you is if you do plan on, you know, using the IPs side of things, contact us first to understand if there's a need for you to do so. We're not, as much as we'll happily give you an IP, we're very, very, very tight in terms of the right guidelines around it to make sure that you guys you're only having the amount of IPs that you absolutely need, kind of due to the IP shortage that we've recently noticed. So the number of IPs, this little box here, we need to keep that enabled. All it'll do, it's like an automated thing which will automatically provision the server the way we need it. You can select your OS down here. So we've got a wide range of operating systems, including Windows Server 2019. If you are going to be using the VPS for FiveM, I would recommend Windows Server 2019, purely just because it does run better on Windows. It's designed to work on Windows, and if you're new to VPSs, this is the best and most easy way for you to do it. Now, root password, I would always recommend select a password that it needs to have a kind of special character. It needs to have at least one capital letter. It needs to be a mixture of uppercase and lowercase, as I said, and it would also need to have at least a number. So, a good example of this would be CQ servers with a capital CQ, exclamation mark 123. So that'll work. What it doesn't allow is hashtags. It's not allowed in the passwords. and a couple of other little bits and bobs. So the only thing that may delay the automated setup of your server is really if the password is incorrect, or there's not one specified that is to our standards. You'll then press continue. You'll be able to pay by debit or credit card, and if there's any issues with that, we do allow you to pay by PayPal. There's just a specific way we need to go about it. Just open a support ticket through the billing side here, which you'll be able to do on the left here with the contact us button. If you create a ticket, we'll then go through and we can kind of contact you in relation to getting the bill paid. Now, one of the things that we offer, we do offer FiveM installation. What I would say to you is, this is mainly for people who really do not have any clue and they're not interested in learning about VPSs. What I would recommend would be, before getting this, watch our YouTube video on how to install FiveM, because everything that you'll be doing will be covered in that kind of video. We've got game panel installation as well. This is for the Pterodactyl game panel. Again, this is mainly for Minecraft, Rust and Gmod servers, which, because we can't really offer this for FiveM due to the fact that FiveM have banned the Pterodactyl panel. If you do ask us to install this and you do need it for FiveM, we can't guarantee it'll work. And at that point, the technician that we've paid to do it has already been paid the hourly rate, so we wouldn't be able to kind of refund that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, one of the really cool things that we do offer at CQ is, with your VPS, you can pretty much do what you want as long as it's within the confines of the law. Just a couple of kind of points down the bottom here. This is the panel that we use. It's very quick and easy, as well as this can all be done through your billing panel. You can actually stop, start, restart, change the password, reinstall the VPS, and change the OS, all that kind of thing. We do offer great support for VPSs. However, we do need to make you aware a VPS is an unmanaged service. Therefore, there is that certain expectation of expertise, as we call it. I would always advise Googling things before you get to us, because ultimately, if there's an issue, we're not all familiar with every single use case of a VPS, because the use case is endless. I'd recommend you Google it and just see if you can find out something before you contact us, because that'll most likely be what we'll do. So the difference between a VPS and a game server. Game servers come pre-installed. They do limit some customization, meaning you don't get full access to the actual container that it's running in. With a VPS, you have complete end-to-end control of your server, which allows flexibility for your personal or business project. Meaning, if you're going for a game server, VPSs are easy to upscale. Downscaling isn't available. What you would need to do is you need to cancel and reorder. But again, it's very easy for you to kind of up and down certain things. We give one IP. If you're looking for an additional, that's easy to get. We can give you a total of 3 IPs automatically through our system. If you need any more than that, you need to get in touch. Windows comes installed. If you select Windows Server 2019, what I need to make you aware of is that you'll be installing the trial version of Windows, and you will not have the option to I think it's 6 months. After 6 months, it will automatically ask you to enter a license key. We always recommend getting a license key. If Windows contacted us to enforce that, we absolutely would. But at the moment, it's one of those things where you can use it as a trial license, and if you do plan on using it commercially, you would really need to get your own license key. Again, that's completely down to you. The VPS is yours, and we wouldn't really get involved in that. And in terms of, can you host several projects, you can partition a VPS and organize it to suit your requirements. You can really do what you want on the VPS, again, as long as it's within our acceptable use in terms of service. We really don't have any qualms in terms of what you're doing with it. So a couple of the things that we don't mention, all of our VPSs come on the CQ path network, meaning that they're in our data centers, our own data centers across the world. At the moment, all our VPSs are in Tampa. However, what you will see in the next couple of months is our London location, our New York location, and our Dallas location popping up. At the moment, we only offer dedicated servers there. But what you will be able to do is effectively, we can define specific traffic sets for your VPS. So if you know you're just going to be using it for FiveM, we can enable a FiveM filter, which will detect all inbound and outbound traffic, scan it, and only allow certain traffic inbound to your VPS, basically meaning protecting any kind of infiltration and ensuring that your VPS is secure. Now, this is one of the things that really separates us from others in the market. We have upwards of 4 terabytes per second DDoS attack on all packages with ourselves. So if you get a VPS with ourselves or a game server, you are protected up to 4 terabytes per second. And if you contact us by ticket, we can apply any path.net filter, taking advantage of A2S caching, meaning that people can effectively grab data from your server based on any of our POPs in the world, across the world. We've got Moscow, we've got Dubai, we've got Tokyo, really pretty much you name it, we've got it. So effectively lowering the ping and making your server look more appealing to really everyone. And we can also, through that, allow you to port punch and use your IP and your network security at switch level so that we can ensure that your service is protected to the best standards possible. So that's just a quick rundown of our VPS services in terms of what we offer. In the next video I will be going over a little bit about installing FiveM. There will be a video about installing Pterodactyl on your VPS, and we'll go through a couple of other things. But if there is any questions, any concerns at all, don't be afraid to raise a ticket through the CQ servers panel. And if there's anything else I missed in this video, let me know and I'll cover it in an upcoming video. Thank you.